frames yet, thank goodness. 32% CPU. Seems like we're going alright. 5,000 kilobits per second. Hey, cool Mac. And appears to be working, yes. It's a little bit of a different setup. I mean, I knew the machine itself should work because it was my old workstation, but yeah, I just wanted to see if it really could handle streaming. This should be at 1080. Audio sucks. Let me try something. Okay, is the audio any better now? Oh, it was picking up this webcam as well as this microphone, that's why. And so the echo you'd be here would either be the encoding differences or the distance differences. Alright. Oh well, that's good. Let's see, I wonder if I can show you what it looks like. See if we can make a mess of everything here. Sweet Bridget. I'm going to make a mess of everything, so bear with me. Give you guys an idea. Come here. So still got the filter. I've got one screen left to go. I'm waiting for that to turn up. That'll be next week sometime. I got a bit of an issue. I want the screens to be a bit lower, but my limit is the microscope. So like I need to be able to push that all the way to the back, which means it has to, these cables have to clear the underside of the screen. And I can't really do that any lower. I mean, obviously I can put that screen down lower, and I'll be able to put that screen down lower, but not much else. The middle one's got to stay up there. It's jittering. Let's see, what was jittering? Or is it just your delivery? Frame rate looks a bit slow. That could be the USB camera itself. I think it just doesn't handle the high 90-degree elbow. Yeah, the elbow will help. I suppose I can do that with the DC connector as well. They'll give me 2 inches, which actually might be enough. 2 inches might be enough. It should be at 30 frames per second, this recording. It's showing at 30. I've got no drop frames. Let's see. I can't think of much else. So switch over to microscope. So the microscope's still only at 30 frames per second because it's coming off USB. I don't yet have an HDMI adapter for the microscope. So for now everything's just coming through the USB port on it. Let's see what else. We've got the side camera. Yeah, I'm probably going to reposition this because the microscope light sort of kills it very quickly. I'll see what it looks like when I put a computer down or something. Let's see. So that would be normal working distance. Needs more light. I haven't got my 20 watt light on. I've got to find a way to position it. Alright, so this goes. Hey Chris Bartlett. Ah, Chris, right, yes, speaking to you the other day. Alright, let's see what I've missed out. It's a Seasick Beard, what a hell of a name. It's dragons here, Rogue Dragon here, John Oddie. Haven't seen you before, John, or have I? 3X I've seen. Alright, well, not much else I'm really going to be doing right now. This is more a case of a clean up this whole workshop. Clean up the whole workshop. As you can see behind me, it's a heck of a mess. I just, this is, what have we got here? Yep, like that. This is the old machine. It's a Lenovo E550. Yeah, it's a good machine. It's a little dusty right now. It's got an i5 5200 in it, but I'm done with it now, so time to put that on the market, sell that. I don't have any use for it. I've got a pair of MacBook Pros and a couple of MacBook Airs and yeah. Hey Q's. Alright. Yes, that's right. I remember you asked me if I was Australian, which I am, of course. Yes, genuine convict from the motherland. I did get something interesting today come in. For a while I've been after, yeah, you want enamelled wire, and I can get 0.02, which we use for the things like touch disease connector, the M1 fix and stuff like that. And then the other stuff I can get is about 0.1 mil, which is a little bit too thick. It feels like a whopping great big girder on the boards, which is what a lot of the cables out of the battery flexes and whatnot. But I found this stuff, and this is actually crystal radio isolation wire. It's antenna wire, I believe, but it consists of multiple strands of 0.05. So it's half the size of the stuff I'm normally used to. So I'm going to give it a go. Have a look. Guys, have a look at this. Girls too. I don't even know what it solders like, so we might give that a shot. If I can find my tweezers. Oh, tweezers. Oh, there they are. And it's pretty cheap. But yeah, so it's about half the thickness of what I have been using on the MacBooks, but it's twice, 2.5 times the thickness of the touch repair type stuff. And it was pretty cheap. Yeah, let's see if we can actually solder it. Let's see if we can actually have a soldering iron that works. Soldering iron. Why you no work? Oh no, someone pulled the cable out. No, they didn't. They just turned it off. Turn the fume extractor on. Oh well, it looks like that enamel solders up real nice. Let's try it on the board. It is varnished. That's the thing about this stuff, is that it's varnished. So even though it's all bundled together, they are distinct. And I need to put some flux down. Flux, flux, flux. That's why it's called isolation wire or whatever, because it's deliberately, all the strands are bound together but not actually conductive. Oh, I'm going to have to cut off a piece. I can't do it that way. I was not expecting to do this. I just lost it. I'll try that again. Hey Sonia! Yeah, well, see, the big thing I was worried about with this was that the enamel would be exceedingly hard to solder off. But what I'm seeing here is that it's actually exceedingly easy. Once I can find... Come on. So that's enameled. And that's soldered. So that's pretty much like the stuff Lewis uses. And it snaps off pretty easy. Yeah. Alright, that works. But if you have a look at it, you see how it's just a bundling, but they are all insulated from each other. That's pretty cool. I don't imagine there's going to be any contamination with the cloth wrap because you just sort of wind it off. It just pulls off. And I mean, like it's a little tiny thimble of it. It's like a sewing thimble. I think that cost me like $2, and that's a lifetime. It came out of Bulgaria, of all places. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, it's called Litzwar. And can you focus? There you go. Isola Litzwar. 10 meters of it, that's a lifetime supply. Oh well, the new setup's working good. I've done a couple of jobs already. Like I said, I'm just waiting for the third screen that's going to come up here. It almost might be a slight overkill, but it will allow me to... It's mostly... The 3 screens is just for streaming. Under normal circumstances, I only need the 2. But the third screen is going to be allowing me to have the open broadcaster open, sitting there, and then I can get on with my normal stuff. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go, whether I'm going to focus to the left or to the right, who knows. But I need to improve the lighting. Perhaps I need to buy some of those studio lamps, LED lamps. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad for me, but under a video situation, you do want more light. Yeah, just turn that off. So there's a lot more work still to be done, but I'm making progress. Some of you may have been aware that I was going to invest in a transportable building. It was about an 8x3 meter building, and it was brilliant. It was perfect for what I wanted. It had the sliding doors at the far end, so it was the narrow sort of wall. And it was all open, had 4 power points, lights, air conditioning, everything I needed. And that was going for about 21,000 Australian. Normally when you buy them new, they're around about 37,000 up here. It was only 15 months old. I went down to the bank today, and the bank wants 13 to 18% interest, and I was like, so I'm not paying that, you know. It's taken me 7 years to get out of considerable debt, and I'm not going to dive right back in at 18% because they will hit me with 18% because I'm a sole trader. It's just the nature of it. And a lot of people in this geographical district are defaulting on their loans because a lot of the people just aren't getting money because there's no real work around here. The mines aren't producing enough. The agriculture industry is sort of being beaten up by the droughts and things like that. It doesn't directly affect me in the sense that most of my work is starting to come in through mail orders and whatnot, but you know, it's just the nature of it. So unfortunately I had to let that one go, and I'm going to have to be stuck in this room here, which is less than ideal, but you know, you got to work with what you got and try not make too many crazy decisions. Shipping container is about $5,000 for a half reasonable one, and then kitting it out would be another $5,000, and it's not quite as good. And by the time I insulate it and everything else, it'd be almost as much work. That's the other thing, is the time to do it. Whereas this transportable building, like I said, it was just perfect. It would have been a drop in and run. It would have been just great. So I'm going to leave it, and maybe in 6 months' time another one will come up. But yeah, Rogue, yeah, exactly. The joy of being self-employed. Yeah, it's funny, you could get a job with someone who will employ you for 6 months, and you'll probably get a loan, but a home loan even. But if you're self-employed, you got to be doing it for 3 years. You got to show at least. You got to show your tax returns and Most of the time when it comes to houses around here or anything, you pretty much got to put 30% down, and it's not an easy life in that respect, but it does have the advantage, of course, being self-employed, you can control your own time. And like, I mean, I get up at 11 o'clock sometimes, I go to bed at 3. It's not very professional of me, but it's just the way it goes. Some jobs take you into that sort of crazy hours. Although at the age I'm getting, I probably should be trying to be a little bit more responsible, so I'll have to have a think about that. What I got to do in the next few days is start working on the back property, because I am losing. We're being moved to about half of this house. The house has been split in half. We've got to go to the other half, and we have now got 7 cats that we're looking after. 3 are ours, 2 kittens that we've taken on as well, and then another 2 that we're sort of juggling, we're fostering them, so to speak. But we're going to lose all of the nice fenced area that I've created, because this is the portion that's going to go to the other people moving in, which funnily enough are the owners, so they have that right. So I have to now go and do about 100 meters of fencing, which is not going to be a lot of fun because it's all copper logs and 2.4 meter high welded mesh. So I get a 2.4 meter copper log, I drop it 600 into the ground. For those who don't know, a copper log it's just a pine log that's been treated with CCA or something like that. It turns it a green color, and they're termite resistant. So I usually dig a 300 diameter by 600 deep hole, mix about 1/3 a spade of cement into it, stir it up till a little fractionally moist, then tamp it all back down with the post. That takes about half an hour for each post, and I'm going to have to do around about 50 of them, so it's going to be a fair bit of work. So, on the window, lizard, what have we got? Oh yeah, the gecko up there. Yeah, they are everywhere. The cats get into them a bit too much, which is a pain because they carry a worm parasite, which is really difficult to get rid of. And so the cats eat them, and then we've got to give the cats some pretty serious worming tablets to get them out. So, alright, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you all for jumping in, testing me. It was good to know about the microphone. I didn't realise that this webcam was picking up that audio. Actually, it might be interesting, just a last minute test. I'll switch between the two. Alright, so now I'm just working off the webcam microphone, which obviously if I go down here, you're probably not going to hear as well as if I'm up here, but the quality should still be okay, but it's not too good if I'm moving around. Maybe probably a little bit echoey actually. Alright, switch back. I had to switch back, else I would forget the next time I start streaming, or recording is worse. I would start recording and then I'll get to the end of the video and I'll be wondering, why does it sound echoey? And then I'll have to redo the video. Yeah, it's like I said, it's no good. It sounds loud, but it's not there. It's echoey, but now it should be all good. This is the wireless one, the Samson Stage PXT. Dave Jones uses one of these as well, and a few other people I know have started using them. They're not as good as Lewis Rossman's DPA unit, but it's within 90% of it at about 1/3 of the quarter of the price. Yeah, so I'm going to go with this. So, all right, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you all, everyone, dropping in and giving me the rundown. Sorry, it's a bit of a mess. Hopefully, it'll be cleaned up by the time of the next stream. So I'll catch us all later.